Who will lead London into its future? It's the question that was on the lips of 6 million registered voters as they cast their ballots in the London mayoral election 2024. This crucial election, a pivotal moment in the city's history, would decide who takes on the mantle of shaping London's future. The role of the mayor isn't just ceremonial. It's about policy, strategy, and the day-to-day life of millions. On May 2nd, the anticipation was palpable, and the city held its breath, awaiting the results. With 13 candidates vying for the top spot, it was an election that promised to be anything but predictable. From the incumbent Sadiq Khan of the Labour Party to the independent candidate Count Binface, the roster of candidates was as diverse as London itself. First up, Sadiq Khan, the standing mayor from the Labour Party. He pledged to continue his work on affordable housing, crime reduction, and implementing more eco-friendly policies. Next, we have Susan Hall of the Conservative Party, who promised to focus on law and order, along with economic growth. Rob Blackie represented the Liberal Democrats, campaigning on a platform of housing reform and improved public transportation. Zoe Garbett of the Green Party made environmental policies her top priority, with a focus on clean energy and sustainable living. Howard Cox of Reform UK sought to shake things up, promising to cut red tape and reduce bureaucracy. Amy Gallagher of the Social Democrat Party, on the other hand, emphasized social justice and wealth distribution. From the Women's Equality Party, we had Mandu Reid, who centered her campaign around gender equality and women's rights. The UK Independence Party fielded Peter Gammons, whose key issues included Brexit and immigration control. Meanwhile, Richard Hewison of Rejoin EU focused on re-establishing ties with the European Union. For the Animal Welfare Party, Vanessa Hudson highlighted animal rights and veganism. Steve Kelleher of the Social Democratic Party promised to focus on tackling poverty and ensuring social justice. Farah London, an independent candidate, campaigned on a platform centered around small businesses and community support. And last but not least, Count Binface, also running as an independent, brought a touch of humor to the race, with promises to bring more intergalactic influence to the city. Such a diverse range of candidates offered a unique set of perspectives on key issues such as housing, crime, and environmental policies. Each candidate brought their own vision and approach, showcasing the multifaceted nature of London's political landscape. 13 candidates, each offering a different vision for London's future. Adding to the intrigue was a new voting system, first past the post, FPTP, a first for the London mayoral election. The FPTP system, unlike its predecessor, operates on a simple principle: the candidate with the most votes in a constituency wins. There's no need for a majority, just a simple plurality. It's a system that's straightforward, but it can also lead to some interesting outcomes. For instance, it could potentially allow a candidate to win despite not having the majority of total votes cast. It's a system that could favor candidates with strong regional support over those with broad but thinly spread backing. In contrast, previous systems used in the London mayoral election required a candidate to secure a majority of votes to win. This often led to more rounds of voting, as candidates were eliminated and their votes redistributed until someone crossed the majority threshold. The introduction of the FPTP system could have significant implications for the election results. It could potentially change the dynamics of the race, shifting the focus from broad appeal to concentrated support. It also adds an element of unpredictability, as candidates with a strong local following could potentially outperform those with a more dispersed support base. A new voting system adding a fresh twist to an already gripping election. May 2nd was the day of reckoning as voters made their way to the polls. The city was abuzz with the energy of democracy and action, as around 6 million registered voters cast their ballots. This was a day marked by determination and anticipation, as the citizens of London chose their mayor and 25 assembly members. The day was a testament to civic duty, with long lines of Londoners patiently waiting their turn to vote. The air was filled with a sense of purpose and a shared understanding of the importance of this day. From early morning till late evening, the polling stations were a hive of activity, punctuated by the steady rhythm of votes being cast. As the day drew to a close, the monumental task of counting these votes began. Bright and early on Friday morning, the counters took their places and began the meticulous process. Each vote was carefully sorted, tallied, and recorded, a process that was as painstaking as it was crucial. The counting continued through the day, with the counters working tirelessly to ensure accuracy. The anticipation was palpable, as the results were expected to be announced late on Saturday. Speculations were rife, predictions were made, and conversations centered around who would take the helm of the city. The city was in a state of suspense, a collective holding of breath as the counting went on. The world watched, all eyes on London, as the hours ticked by. The city waited, its people waited, and the candidates waited, each hoping to be the one to lead London into the future. As the counting process began, all eyes were on London, waiting to see who would emerge victorious. The city held its breath, waiting for the announcement that would determine its leadership for the next few years. And as the counting continued, the anticipation only grew, a testament to the importance of this election and the impact it would have on the City of London. So where does this leave us? What are the key points to take away from the London mayoral election 2024? We've seen a diverse roster of 13 candidates vying for the mayoral position, each with their unique perspectives and promises. Incumbent Sadiq Khan from Labour, Susan Hall from the Conservatives, Rob Blackie from the Liberal Democrats, Zoe Garbett from the Green Party, and Howard Cox from Reform UK, not to mention Amy Gallagher from the Social Democrat Party and Count Binface, the independent candidate. The issues they campaigned on were as varied as they were. Housing, crime, and environmental policies were at the forefront of their platforms, reflecting the concerns of the 6 million registered voters who participated in this democratic process. This election also marked the introduction of a new voting system, the first past the post, FPTP, a significant change that could potentially reshape the political landscape of London, stirring anticipation for the results as the counting process commences. As we wrap up, the City of London stands at a critical juncture. The outcome of this election could set the course for its future direction, shaping its policies, its communities, and its global standing. As London awaits its new leader, the world watches on. The future of this great city hangs in the balance, and only time will tell who will lead it into the next chapter of its history.